Hi everyone, welcome to my Appalachian Trail gear video of 2014. I'll be starting northbound the first week of April. So I'm just going to go through what I'm taking on the trail. Obviously there are a few little things missing like Ziploc bags and trash bags, but this is 98% of what I'll be taking. So I'm just going to start with the clothing and specifically start with my shoes. So for my hiking shoes, I'm taking these Merrell Grasshopper trail running shoes. These are the non-waterproof version, which I was actually unable to find the non-waterproof version at any of the outfitters around here, so I had to order them straight through the manufacturer. They were about $20 cheaper that way too, so that worked out well. For my camp shoes, I'm taking a pair of Merrell sandals. I can't remember the model name of them right now. I didn't want to take Crocs because I really don't like to have a closed toe. For my camp shoes, I wanted something with an open toe, but flip-flops weren't going to work for me because I wanted to be able to do river crossings and have something that would actually stay on my foot. So I'm going with these Merrells for my camp shoes. I also have a pair of Smart Wool socks and a pair of Darn Tough socks. Those will be my hiking socks. And for gaiters, I'm starting with these REI Alpine light gaiters. They're waterproof. They're a lot heavier than what I want to use in the summer, but for the beginning, if we run into any snow or anything like that, I want to have something that's going to protect my legs and shoes. So those are my starting gaiters. I'm using Dirty Girl gaiters. Once it gets a little bit warmer, I'm going to have those sent to me. I have a Saucony AM run cap for my sun hat, and I also have an Outdoor Research Windstopper beanie. I have a pair of Outdoor Research gloves, and those actually have waterproof liners as well. Sorry, not waterproof liners, waterproof shells. And I also have a pair of Outdoor Research mittens. I'll be sending one or the other home when it gets a little bit warmer. Right here I have a camp towel, a buff, and a handkerchief. For my main layers, my warm layer from the top is going to be a Patagonia Capilene 3 midweight. It's a 3/4 zip. Really comfortable, really warm. I really love that shirt. My parents got it for me. Then I have an LL Bean wool and spandex and polyester shirt. For my bottom, I have a New Balance. It's called Lightning Dry. They're knee-length tights. And for the warm layer on the bottom, I have actually their Moving Comfort Just Right track pants. I know most people go with a pair of convertible pants so they can just zip off the bottoms, but I've always found those to be incredibly uncomfortable. So I'm going with a pair of tights and a pair of pants to go over them. For camp, I have an LL Bean. It's also a 3/4 zip. Pair of long johns and long john bottoms as well, and I have a pair of camp socks that are Smart Wool. For my rain gear, I have a Patagonia Torrent Shell stretch. It's all rolled up right there, and then I also have a pair of Sierra Designs Hurricane pants for my rain pants. Those will be sent home as well once it gets a little bit warmer. During the colder month, I just want to have something to protect my legs as an extra layer if it's cold and raining. And then I have a Z-Packs medium pack cover. Finally, for my really warm top layer, I have an LL Bean Ultralight 850 down jacket. I didn't go with the Ghost Whisperer because I wanted something that was a little bit more durable, and the LL Bean is treated with dry down, so it will resist moisture and do a little bit better if it's misting or snowing. So that is the jacket that I went with. Alright, so next is my food and water setup. I do want to mention that my stove is not pictured here. I'm hiking with my sister and we're sharing a lot of things, shelter and food-wise. So she has our stove and our pot. She also has our bear bagging kit and our water purification system, which is the SteriPen Ultra, which is a rechargeable version of the SteriPen. So that's what we're using for water purification, and then if that fails for some reason, we also have Katahdin MicroPure tablets as our backup. So the part that I'm carrying, I have a Nalgene here. I know that now most people are not taking Nalgenes anymore because they're a lot heavier than a water bottle, but the SteriPen pre-filter that we have fits on a Nalgene top. So we do need to take at least one Nalgene for that reason, for water purification. And I got the version that has the measurements on the side so that we can use that for measuring water for cooking and things like that. Also have a flexible Nalgene canteen for carrying extra water. For eating, I have a Snow Peak 600 titanium cup, and that has a nice little silicone lip guard on it. Keeps you from burning yourself if your drink is really hot. I also have a titanium spork and spoon. And this is a GSI outdoors bowl. We're going to be cooking our food together, so we do need to be able to dole it out rather than just eating it straight out of the pot. You can see that one's got a lot of scratches and things. I've been using that one for a long time. And then finally I have a 10-liter food bag. It's a dry sack. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be large enough. It is the size that I normally take on a 5-day backpacking trip, but I'm a little bit worried about the hiker hunger setting in and it not being big enough for the food that we need. So we'll see, that may have to be replaced. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the miscellaneous items I'm taking. Don't really fit into a particular category, all my tools and electronics and things like that. So for electronics, I'm taking a smartphone and the Kindle Paperwhite. I also have here a Sansa Clip Zip MP3 player and waterproof headphones. So that's what I'm taking for like my entertainment and my communication, blogging tools and things like that. Then we have our first aid kit. I have a lot of trouble with blisters, so this has a lot of things like new skin and some blister bandages. These are Petafix sore spot blister bandages. They're really the only thing that I've ever found that really helps if you do get a blister to protect that so it's not painful. Also have things like gloves, band-aids, butterfly closures, some gauze pads, ibuprofen, antidiarrheal, Benadryl, things like that. And that's also where we're keeping the Katahdin MicroPure tablets in case we need them. Right here are the extra wires, batteries, and chargers for my electronics. And there's a little screen cleaner right there as well. So I got a 4-port charging plug-in so that we can charge almost all of our electronics at once, both my sister and I. A pair of extra rechargeable batteries for my headlamp, and then the wires that we need for charging. This is my personal bag, and I do have some luxury items in here. So I'm taking some tissues, some wet wipes. I've got a toothbrush along here. It's called a tube toothbrush that has the toothpaste built right into the handle. If I don't like that, I do have a Z-Pax toothbrush at home here that I could have sent to me. I cut off the head of a small hairbrush. I do have pretty long hair, and so does my sister, so we don't really want to dread our hair, so we're going to take that so that we can brush our hair. Got some vitamin C tablets. They're called Women's One Daily Petites. They're half the dose of a normal multivitamin, so they're smaller, which is why I like them, but they still give you 100% daily value. So got some earplugs, some floss, which can be used for sewing as well. There's a incredibly light emergency mirror, some extra hair ties and hair clips and things like that. So that's my personal items. I also have some toilet paper and hand sanitizer. These are kind of travel toilet paper. We'll just switch over to whatever's available once that's gone, but I do know from experience that'll last 5 or 6 days, what we've got right there. So and then I have a repair kit. So it's a patch kit for my NeoAir X Lite, some single-use super glue, some safety pins, a little roll of duct tape. There's a needle in there for sewing or fixing blisters and things like that. And I've got the directions for patching my knee wear. That's all in a nice little Ziploc that actually came with the knee wear. So my headlamp is a Black Diamond Revolt headlamp. It can be used with either rechargeable or regular AAA batteries. There's the charging port if you use the rechargeable batteries. I'm taking one of each. The lumens on the headlamp are higher if you use non-rechargeable batteries, but it's only by 10 or 15 lumens dimmer if you use the rechargeable ones. So I will take an extra set of batteries, but it'll be nice to just be able to recharge and not have to purchase batteries constantly. It's also got an indicator on the side when it's locked, or when and a battery indicator as well. So pretty nice. Ooh. Really bright, 90 lumens with non-rechargeables, so super bright. Have some Sawyer SPF 30 Stay Put sunscreen lotion. I'll switch over to whatever's available afterwards, but this is supposed to be really good in cold weather. So starting with that, I've got a pair of sunglasses. I'm not taking the case, but for now I'm trying to keep them nice. They can get all scratched up on the trail, but I want to keep them good until I leave. Chapstick. This is a Gerber mini pear frame knife. My husband has a larger version of this that we usually take with us backpacking. It's a really nice knife. So another electronic, my camera that I'm using right now is this Olympus Stylus Tough camera. It's the TG830, which has built-in GPS and things like that. So it's a really nice camera so far. In the hidden pocket of my backpack, I'm going to be carrying, this is actually a little wallet right here for my cards and my cash and things like that. And then my sister and I are each bringing one of the Appalachian Trail passports that just came out this year. And I do have a list of the hostels and businesses and things like that that will stamp the passport. And then I also stuck in here a quick reference guide for my my headlamp, just how to get to the different modes, because I've been practicing but I haven't quite nailed it down yet. So I can either send that home or throw it out or burn it or whatever when I've got it nailed down. But for now, since it's so tiny, I'm taking it with me. For my camera, I have two different things to help me. This is a little Joby collapsible tripod. This was like $6 or something. And it's really, really light, so I'm taking that. And then I also, it's not here yet, but I ordered a stick pick. So I'll be using those to help me do video, take pictures. Taking the 2014 AWOL AT guide, Northbound, and for my journal, Right in the Way number 393. And there's a pen. And last but not least, my poles. So these are Lecky poles. It's the Lecky Lhasa Light. It's a women's specific pole, which means that the sections are shorter. So it doesn't expand as tall, but that does allow it to cut down on weight. The pair is 15 ounces. The only thing that, that I wished was different about these poles is that the handles were completely cork. But otherwise, I've loved them so far. They've got flick locks and everything, super light, so great poles. So that's all my miscellaneous gear. All right, last but not least, my sleeping system. So the reason my sister has most of our cooking gear is because I'm carrying our tent body, which is one of the heavier items that we're taking with us. This is the Sierra Designs Flash 2. Which is a hybrid single wall, double wall tent. So single wall tents have a problem with condensation, especially when it's wet or cold, water building up on the inside of the tent. But double wall tents, where they have ventilation, they are also very heavy because you've got a separate tent body and a separate rain fly. And they're also hard to set up in the rain because the rain fly has to be put on after the tent's set up generally. So this is a hybrid version. So it still allows for a lot of ventilation, but the rain fly is integrated, so you can set it up in the rain and the inside of the tent won't get wet. So that's what we're going with for our tent, and the tent body right now is in a Cuban fiber stuff sack that I made. The stuff sack that came with it I felt was too heavy, so I ordered a stuff sack kit and I created a stuff sack for it. My sister has the ground tarp and the poles. The ground tarp is also in a Cuban fiber stuff sack that I made. For my sleeping bag, also not in its original stuff sack, I have the Kelty Ignite 16-degree down bag. I got it as kind of a budget bag for my winter bag because I didn't want to carry the 20-degree bag that I had been using in the past, and I didn't feel that my 40-degree quilt was going to be quite warm enough. So I've got it in a Sea to Summit 13-liter dry sack, so hopefully I can keep it dry because it is down. But it saved me over my old sleeping bag. It did save me 13 ounces and is much smaller than my old bag. So that's my winter bag. For my summer bag, which I'm going to put in a waterproof stuff sack as well, it's not in there yet. This is the Katabatic Gear Palisade 40-degree quilt. Not much bigger than a Nalgene when it's all stuffed in its stuff sack like this, and the pad attachment system is awesome. I think this has won a lot of awards, and it's really, really comfortable. So that's going to be my summer bag once it gets a little bit warmer. And like most people, I'm taking the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite. I did go with the women's regular, which has a higher R value. I do get cold very easily, so you'll probably notice I took a lot more gloves and hats than most people would. I get cold very easily. So this item I'm hoping that I can send home as soon as possible. I'm not even sure that I'll need it. It's a Thermalite reactor sleeping pad liner from Sea to Summit. It's supposed to add 15 degrees of warmth to your sleeping pad. Watching videos of people who are out there right now, I'm not sure that it's going to be necessary, but I'll start with it and I'll send it home if it's warm enough. I do have two luxury items. This is the Thermarest Z-Rest. It's a little seat, but I'll also be can also put it underneath my hips, underneath my sleeping pad. If my hips are a little bit sore, give a little extra padding, or if there's some roots and rocks and things that are hurting. Or if I'm wearing all of my clothing because it's cold, I can fold it in half and use it as sort of a pillow. So 3 different uses. It's 2.2 ounces. It is, I acknowledge, a luxury item, and I may send it home, but I really like the idea of taking this, so I am. And the last luxury item, this is a Microburst sleeping pad inflator. It's from Camp Tech. These have not been out that long, I don't think, but they blow up my sleeping pad in 2 or 3 minutes, and they last for quite a few inflations. So, and I'm sure my sister will appreciate not having to blow up her sleeping pad. It takes me 25 or 30 breaths to blow up the NeoAir, so this will save me a lot of time and effort and keep the humidity from my breath out of my sleeping pad. So you just pop this open, automatically turns on, put that around the, put that right on the sleeping pad, and it blows it up for you. So, and it does come with a little stuff sack. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but that's my luxury item. Takes AAA batteries, lasts a long time. So, and last but not least, my backpack is an Osprey Exos 58. It is last year's model. My sister actually is getting the Exos 58 as well, but she's getting the 2014 version, so I'll be interested when she gets it to see what there are for changes. I got the orange just as a little extra protection during the hunting seasons, but I've always loved Osprey bags. They've got a ton of awesome features. This is definitely the lightest one that I've ever owned, and I'm really excited about that. So that is all of my Appalachian Trail gear. Feel free to post questions below.